So we're on, and welcome aboard to Dreamy Dreamland with Sensei Al Bob. And I found a more sturdy signal. So um, I'll tell you the story about Tammy another time, just whetting your appetite. But if you want to talk to me personally, you can get a hold of me at thedudeawake42 at Gmail. And also, I have my PayPal there. I could really use some assistance people have, and it's always come just in the nick of time. I appreciate that. I appreciate everything you do. Um, and everything I do is to serve you. And it's getting cold. It was 17 degrees outside of my sleeping bag last night. And uh, here I am. Let's see some thumbs up, right? Let's get some more subscribers. Subscribe, hit that bell, right? Um, a lot of you don't get notified, so hit that bell, right? And go to my xratted.blogspot.com and you know um, turn other people onto it. So we're talking about satsang. Satsang is a sacred meeting between yourself, the community, and love's co-creation. Right? It's a consensual thing, right? And it needs you to be present. I've taught many people how to meditate, and usually the common thread, oh, I can't meditate. I try to be quiet, and then all I do is think about, well, that's part of satsang. When all of those things come up, satsang is about truth, not about the laundry list or the complaint or any of those. It's about the truth. So whatever pops up, you look at it. Why am I worrying about that? Right? It's like me. Why am I worrying? Do I really need to worry about freezing to death? When John Birmingham could easily, and he has invited me, oh, you need to stay at the school. And then I come and visit, and I have to drive 200 miles, and it's, about $60 worth just of going and coming. And he throws me out, right? Within the last 4 times, he said, oh, come and stay with me. I want you to stay with me. I'm worried about you. And, I would bring food and make him a meal. Oh, this is a great meal. And then he would scream at me and throw me out within 20 minutes. So I really can't do that. But the real question is, do I have to worry about that? Do I have to worry about freezing to death? Now it would be great for John Birmingham for him to invite me because we could do that song every day. We could, you know, John is an amazing guy. He's got great talent. He's got great resources. He doesn't really have to worry about anything. He could be doing a lot of good, but all he does is kind of stay, out there and doesn't do anything. Has no interaction. Like, I'm also out in the woods, you know, but it's to kind of keep me safe. But this Thanksgiving, um, a number of people over the summertime came visit from the Appalachian Trail, which is right behind me, and they came and they visited, and the tale grew about Sensei Al Bob, and so all summer 1 or 2 people would come and visit. It's the woods, so there's no house, no buildings, no so it's kind of the social distancing and but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, which was Thanksgiving, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, a lot of people kind of rolled in, from the trail, about 40, right? 1 or 2 at a time, and they all had camps because they're all homeless, and of those 40 people, about 20 of them were families, mom, dad, and kids, right? And they're living in the woods because they lost their jobs. They had jobs in restaurants and things where they got fired and let go, and they couldn't get any other jobs, and they were on the low end, so they got no assistance, and their landlords threw them out, which they weren't supposed to do, but they did, and so they're living in the woods. And now those kids haven't really eaten because the only meal they really ever got was at the public school, and that got closed. So there's something on the order of 42 million people in America like that. There's something on the order of 24 million people who are children and are not getting fed, you know. And now, Mitch McConnell, the head of the Senate, should be doing satsang and seeing why he's doing the things he's doing. All those politicians that are the best politicians money can buy, right? So, what we're going to do from here on in is go into state, go into satsang, and allow things to come up, right? Let yourself be in the present. Right? Celebrate the revelations of the things that come to you, the understandings. That's satsang. Don't be scared of them. Let your true I, not your personality, not your name. There you're back, fish. Can you hear me good through the mask? I don't have a microphone, and I'm in a place that I can't really speak loud. So, but it has a better signal, and I couldn't see anything here. It's kind of, the light is just perfect. I can see the screen just with one pair of glasses. So that's it. Anyway, let's see. Got any questions? So, satsang is about exposing the lies of our lives that we pretend about being, and all you have to do is be quiet and let anything, whatever comes up, that's satsang, whatever little, and you just kind of push it away. Oh, I got to do a water, push it away. Oh, I got to do that, push it away. If it's, unless it's truthful, it's really about who that I is, not your, not your name, not Mary, not Steve, not Bob, but who you really are. And when these things come up, they will be revealed to not be important because they don't exist. Because what is the only thing that exists? It's love, right? And all of those issues that come up out of satsang are revealed to be illusions, right? Truth is our natural state. And joy is the recognition of our true nature. That's what joy is, right? So when we see people who are schizophrenic, right, they are representing the illusion of our culture. Our culture is schizophrenic, right? So when you see people, unbelievably laughing and then crying and then complaining and then wanting to kill themselves, this is the schizophrenia of the illusion, right? And you're not, that movie star you want to be. I spent 30 years playing music and being a movie star, and I, and nobody watches me. Well, why? Because it's not real. It's an illusion, right? And you do it so much that it's the same thing over and over again. Every time I do this, I try and go into state and try to bring satsang up so I can talk to you about our true nature, right? And the vehicle of the chat would be really great. It's Fish. I love to say, that you're there and you're saying hi, but it'd be nice to hear your satsang. You speak up, because when you speak up and realize the nothing of your life, you realize that it's an illusion. You realize that you can be who you are. You don't have to be controlled by the powers that shouldn't be, the hidden hand, your parents, the school, the this, the that, the church. No, those are all illusions, manifestations of the illusion. So let's have satsang. Let's talk. And what that is the revelation of who you really are. Let's see who you really are, because I've been doing this Dreamy Dreamland with Sensei Al Bob now for more than 2 years. And this is the guy who I am. If you go to my xratted.blogspot.com, you will see the writings. And my writing really speaks um, somewhat clearer. But, being a griot, I tell a story and try to involve you in the satsang, into the revelation of who you are. Hey, Chris. So in the Bible, you go to, and there are a lot of people, oh, I'm all about Jesus. Oh, it's all about Jesus, 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 Jesus. Well, the New Testament really doesn't say anything about Jesus. It's like, John, Paul, Peter, Larry, Mo, Curly. And it's obvious that these guys in the Bible of today wrote about Jesus 100 years. They never knew him. These aren't his apostles. They are monkeys with a typewriter doing a telephone gig, that game telephone. But if you go to the Dead Sea Scrolls, there are sections of it that were written by Jesus. And in the Dead Sea Scrolls, they talk a great deal of the good news. And what is the good news? You hear it in the Bible. You hear John talk about it, Matthew talk about it, and James talk about it. But they never say what it is. And what the good news is satsang, where you sit in quiet and you let the revelation of your I come up, and all of this meaningless illusion is thrown in your face. And if you deal with it, you will find your natural state. And if you find your natural state, you will realize how much joy there is in your heart. And then you can share it with those you love. And that's why I do Dreamy Dreamland, to share this love, right? And that's why, I gave away most of my larder. And what's a larder? Larder is the stuff you put away for the winter, right? I had a lot of canned food, so I gave half of it away to those 40 people. And not only that, the only people who had a can opener was the vets, right? They had their military can opener, this little thing, but it works great. So I went to drove 40 miles to the closest Walmart's and spent the last $100 I had on buying can openers for these 20 families. I bought $6 can openers, and I bought $100 worth of them. And everyone got, 15, 20 cans of food and a really good can opener so they could open up any can, so their kids could eat, so they could eat, right? And why did I do that? And the other thing that was everyone was in the same place, so they felt comfortable. It wasn't like they were in a church or this or that where they felt like they were being judged. They were amongst people in the same position, and I'm in that same position as they are too. I'm basically homeless. Unless John Birmingham invites me to stay at the school for the winter, I'm going to be out in the woods freezing to death, and I probably stuff. You know, I've done 10 or 20 lives. I've helped thousands of people, and why did I do all that? Because it made me happy. It was who I was. It brought me joy. So, I think that's enough. There's only three of you there. No one's speaking of their satsang, you know. No one's exposing the lies of the petrified culture that we live in. So I'm just going to bop off here and say I love you. And I always pray for you all. Yeah, thanks for more thumbs up. Remember, go to the Dude Awake 42 at Gmail if you want to drop a personal line just to me. And if you want, my PayPal is there. I could really use some cash, to make sure I don't, I got something to keep me warm and something to put a little gas in the car and pay my bills and to buy my medicines, But, so I coming here, this state and the surrounding states didn't join up with Obamacare, so there is no medical care. And that's, I would say half of America has no, oh yeah, I have health insurance with my job. And when they go to use it, they find out it's worthless. It's like I have Part D of my Medicare for old people. And, it generic drugs, I pay exactly what generic drugs are. I don't get a cut, and the expensive drugs that keep me alive. My diabetics, the other things for all the other stuff for me, those aren't generic. My diabetes medicine around here, they want $1,800 a month for that medicine, right? So I had to basically, become very disciplined on my diet and not eat any carbohydrates and just eat vegetables, which is kind of hard, because they're, the only vegetables I'm eating are ones out of cans, which are pretty good, And so my blood sugar, is, somewhere between 110 and 150, which, it should be, 110 is okay. Anything below 124 is okay. Anything up to 150 is, not bad, but not great, right? Anything above 150 starts to get troublesome. So those are my physical dynamics. They're not limitations because they bring up it's like that's what satsang is. It brings up other issues that come straight to my sight and go, oh, okay, that's what it is. I have everything that the state offers, and still it's nothing. Yeah, I have cards that say, yes, I have that. And, I have, my Social Security, yeah, but it's nothing, compared to, so it doesn't pay for the expensive drugs. Just, ones that are, generic, but, so I spend, save 10 cents on the generic drug, So, I have to be thankful for everything I have, and I am, But in Virginia, I had myself wired in much better, and it doesn't fish. Sorry. It kind of does, but not really. It only it covers certain pharmacies and certain drugs. And I don't live near those certain pharmacies, and it's not covering the drugs I need. So that's what it is, And I have that, I have everything. I spent all summer with bureaucrats, and I'm a smart guy. I've got time on my hands, so I wired myself in the best I can. So I got something to take care of me, but not really. But that's everybody. I mean, if you go into satsang and you let these things come up, you realize that anything that you think you can depend on, you can't. But that's okay because everything out there is an illusion anyway, right? And what that stressor does is it brings the reality of who you are, your true nature. And you can either ignore your true nature and be some illusion, I'm really John. I'm John Birmingham. I'm the great musician. I'm so talented. I'm all of this. Well, you're not. Have you worked to getting a. Well, basically, you need a house for a wood stove. You need a roof for a wood stove. I don't have those things, right? Sorry. You need X amount of square feet so you don't catch whatever little box you have on fire. So, what I do have, I don't know if you've ever seen movies where people are standing around a 55-gallon drum and, warming themselves. Well, that's what I have. I have a few of those drums, smaller ones, though. They're more 25-gallon. And a friend of mine around here, there's coal. West Virginia has coal. Virginia has coal. Meaning they dig it up. So it's cheap. So somebody dropped off half a ton of coal. And boy, coal burns hot. So what's that say? I have no idea what that was. Anyway, so unless, Fish understands, you have to put everything in caps so I can read them. When they're small, I can't read. So I've been burning coal, and if you're standing within 5-10 feet of that barrel, that barrel is like red hot, and it keeps me warm. I have my little lawn furniture set up around the barrel, and I got a tarp over it. So that's it. But wood stove, not so much, because like I said, you need a roof and a house and a this for a wood stove, right? X amount of square feet so you don't burn whatever it is nearby down. So like last night, so I'm not even going to go over my issues because they're irrelevant, The opportunity for someone like John Birmingham to put me up into school and we spend the winter together, he could and we could do some amazing work. But if he wants to, be in a 7,000 square foot, and I could, I don't know if he's learned yet how he's got 2 great wood stoves, and I was the wood, the one in the basement would keep the whole house warm. But anyway, what else can I say? Not much. Exactly. I have some kind of shack, but it's full of stuff. And if I started a fire, if I had even if I had a wood stove, it would, set it on fire, So, and basically, this is out of 20 years, this is the first year I've stayed here. And spring, summer, fall, it's beautiful. It's, you don't need all of that. It's perfect the way I live. And every other all those 20 years, I would go someplace else or be with someplace, or somebody would come through. So, you can say, like last winter, I took care of a guy's house, and the winter before that, I took care of a friend's farm. And the winter before that, I was with John, But, in all those people's lives, I was very thankful for where I was, but my presence assisted them. So, and, like last night, it was colder than that. It was 17 degrees below zero. And in my little sleeping bag, it was 80 degrees. But I woke up because I it was like two styrofoam coffee cups together, and so I almost I kind of couldn't breathe, but I was asleep, and so my arm kind of dug out and made a little air hole, but I was asleep, so my arm's out, and I woke up because ice was forming on my hand. And you know, um, I'm actually anyway. So I'm gonna go because now I'm even in a place where the signal should be strong. It's getting weak. So anyway, I love you guys. Again, remember if you want to send me something, that's um, go to my the dude awake 42 at Gmail and look for my PayPal and go read some of my writings and then respond on the Gmail about what you think. What it brings, because my writing is a shamanic tool to have you realize, for you to have sense on, to have you have insight. That's what it's about. That's what a griot does. Tells a story so the person listening to the story can have some insight, right? So I just want to say I love you guys, and I'm going to dig around and look for a microphone. Luckily there was a space that they let me come in and just sit here and talk to you. So anyway, I'll talk to you later.